Now, according to Clint Eastwood, this is probably the lousiest Western ever made, and he should know he was in it. No, we're not talking about a Western from the 60s and 70s. It was a B movie, well, that's a compliment, B movie, more like a C movie, called Ambush at Cimarron Pass. Now, this came out in 1958, directed by Jodie Copeland, and starring Scott Brady and Clint Eastwood. Now, he's third bill in the movie, later first billed upon reissue. The film also features Margia Dean, Irving Bacon, Frank Gerstle, Baines Barron, and William Vaughn. It is the only film ever directed by Copeland, who was primarily a film editor. And you're saying to yourself, who are the co-stars? Like, I try to look up some of these names and not anybody I recognize. Now, this one, the survivors of a squad of cavalry led by Sergeant Blake are escorting a prisoner, Corbin, back to their fort. Corbin has been attempting to sell repeating rifles to the Apache, and the cavalry are now carrying the rifles. The encounter survivors of the Texas cattle drive, all former Confederate soldiers led by Sam Prescott, who include Eastwood, who plays the young Keith Williams, who still hates Northerners and has to be restrained from shooting Blake. While the two groups are discussing their predicament, the Apache deliver a bound Teresa Santos, a young woman who's the only survivor of a raid on a nearby ranch. It turns out she was a distraction, so the Apache could steal the group's horses. Now, Blake and Prescott agreed to join forces and continue on foot to the fort through Cimarron Pass. Judge Stanfield, a survivor in Prescott's party, suggests trading the rifles to the Apache for their horses, but Blake dismisses this on the basis that the rifles are the only means they have of defending themselves against the superior Apache numbers. When Blake ignores Stanfield's threats of criminal charges, Stanfield plots with Keith to overthrow Blake's command. Now, several of the group, mostly Blake's men, are killed and wounded in skirmishes or ambushes, including Blake's Indian scout, Henry. Johnny Willow takes over scouting duties, while Teresa flirts with Keith. Stanfield encouraged Keith, who is annoyed at Blake's leadership and the way Prescott and Johnny are going along with it, to mutiny. Keith's first attempt is interrupted by Apache attack, but in the aftermath, he challenges Blake, who easily defeats him. After this, Keith largely falls in line and decides to take out his anger on the Apache rather than Blake. During the Apache attack, Stanfield frees Corbin so they can complete the deal with the Apache, but Corbin betrays and kills him. Corbin then attempts to deliver some of the rifles, but the Apache kill him on sight, and Blake's group is able to recover them. Now Blake decides to raid the Apache camp and drive off their horses to remove their advantage. The raid is successful in stampeding the horses, but escalates into a battle in which Johnny Willow and most of the Apache are killed. During the fight, Blake rescues Teresa from an Apache warrior, and she kisses him. The raid seems to end a direct threat from the Apache, but the group is still short of food and water. As they continue towards the fort, Teresa collapses from exhaustion, and Blake realizes that the rifles are too heavy to carry any further. Rather than let them fall in the hands of the Apache, he orders them to be burned. The final shot is of the fort, suggesting that the group reach safety. Now, this film, through Regal, was only 73 minutes, so you can do the math on this. Your typical, B Saturday afternoon movie. There's no indication of how much this made at the box office. Came out February 11, 58 in L.A. Now, again, according to published reports, and this is what we find out, the film was made by Regal, who won a two-picture deal with Scott Brady, signed with Regal, the other being Blood Arrow. Clint Eastwood, at the time best known for his performance in Lafayette Escadrille, was cast in September 57. Now, most film guides include their entry for this film a quote attributed to Eastwood, probably the lousiest Western ever made. Eastwood later recalled how he felt when he saw the film at a movie theater. In a 1978 interview, he said that he felt really depressed at the time and said the film, "It was so bad I just kept sinking lower and lower in my seat. I said to my then wife, I'm going to quit. I'm really going to quit. I'm going back to school. I got to start doing something with my life." Now, the film was never released on VHS. However, all the films had the imprint, and it was released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2012. Now, there was some talk that maybe Joanne Woodward would have a part in this, but never planned out. Now, the quotes on the movie came from allegedly a feature in Crawdaddy magazine. So if you're a Clint Eastwood completist, I mean, all power to you. You can find it on DVD. I would suspect it would be true. The same company would sell Janus film imprints or whatever. But I've never seen this movie, and I only heard of it recently. When I did something on the podcast and the Dare to Hear Books, this came out. So again, good title, but like I said, the plot itself was done better by John Wayne in the 1930s. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Clint Eastwood Random Facts podcast, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share.